My family left me behind at 17 with a note saying, "You'll figure it out." 12 years later they suddenly want back into my life. When I was 17 I came home from my part-time shift to find the house completely empty. Furniture gone. Closets cleaned out. Family vanished. All that remained was a single sticky note stuck to the fridge that said, "You'll figure it out." I didn't know it then, but that moment would define my entire life. And now, 12 years later, after everything I built on my own, they suddenly want me back. I wasn't a perfect teenager, but I wasn't a troublemaker either. I worked after school to help pay bills. I cooked most nights because my parents got home late. I watched my younger brother when they needed me to. But during my senior year things changed. I noticed whispered conversations between my parents. Debt letters hidden under the couch cushions. Nights where my father paced the kitchen long after midnight. They never talked to me about any of it. The week before they left, my mother seemed distant. Avoiding eye contact. Smiling a little too brightly. Giving me long, tight hugs that felt like goodbyes. I thought she was stressed. I had no idea she was preparing to disappear from my life. And then came that night. I walked into the kitchen expecting leftovers in the fridge. Instead, every cabinet stood open, empty. The whole house echoed. The sticky note was written in my mother's handwriting. 4 words that still sting today. "You'll figure it out." They didn't answer calls. My brother's phone went straight to voicemail. Every relative acted like they had no idea. I later learned through a neighbor that they had moved 2 states away and left me behind like unwanted luggage. I slept in that empty house for 3 nights. Then the landlord came. He told me my parents hadn't paid rent in months. I had 5 days to leave. I packed what little I had in a backpack in a trash bag. I stayed on a friend's couch until her parents said I couldn't stay anymore. I tried calling shelters, but they were full. So I worked. Every shift. Every spare hour. Fast food in the morning, stockroom at night, homework squeezed in between. I finished high school practically sleep-deprived. Graduation photos show me smiling, but my eyes tell the truth. I was exhausted, scared, and completely alone. But I didn't quit. I moved into a tiny studio apartment with peeling paint. I took community college classes 1 semester at a time, whenever I could save enough money. I learned budgeting, cooking, car repair, everything on my own. Slowly, painfully, I built a life. 23, something changed. I got hired at a small tech startup as a customer support rep. It wasn't glamorous, but it was stable, and stability was something I had never known. I showed up early, stayed late, learned everything I could. Within 2 years, I moved into a junior developer role. A year after that, I helped design one of the company's core tools. The one that doubled our clients. By 27, I was leading a team. By 29, I had equity. And by 30, when our company was acquired, I walked away with more money than my parents ever had in their lives. I bought a home. A reliable car. A dog. I found a therapist. I built a support system. My life wasn't perfect, but it was mine. Built entirely from the ashes of abandonment. Last year, 12 years after they left, I got an unexpected message request on Facebook. It was my mother. The first sentence, "We've been trying to find you." Which was a lie. My phone number hadn't changed in years. The second sentence chilled me. "We would love to reconnect now that we're all older and wiser." Attached to the message was a picture of my parents and my brother, all smiling in front of a house. A house that looked suspiciously expensive. I didn't reply. A week later, my brother messaged me. He said he missed me. He said, "We didn't have a choice back then." He said they regretted everything. But the next line revealed the truth. "Dad's business is in trouble. We were hoping maybe you could help." There was not love, not guilt, not family, money. Against my better judgment, I agreed to meet them once. For closure, not reconciliation. We met at a coffee shop halfway between our states. When they walked in, they acted like nothing had happened. Like we'd merely had a small disagreement years ago. My mother hugged me tightly. My father clapped my shoulder. My brother smiled nervously. They ordered drinks as if we were catching up after a long vacation. I let them talk first. My father explained the debt. The business problems. Medical bills. Old age setting in. Then he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "We need you. Family supports each other." I took a slow breath. My hands shook under the table. Then I asked the question that had lived inside my chest for 12 years. Why did you leave me? Silence. My mother looked down. My brother avoided eye contact. My father sighed. We didn't have room for a teenager during the move, he said. You were old enough to manage. You always figured things out. That was their reasoning. That was their justification. I realized something in that moment. I wasn't abandoned because they were desperate. I was abandoned because they were selfish. I stood up. I told them I wished them well. I told them I'd healed without them. And I told them I wasn't going to reopen wounds to fix problems that weren't mine. My mother cried. My brother begged. My father glared. But I walked out anyway. Outside the cafe, I took a deep breath and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Freedom. Not the freedom of escape. The freedom of choosing myself. I didn't rebuild my life for the people who abandoned me. I rebuilt it for the person they left behind. A scared 17-year-old who was never supposed to make it. And now that I have, I'm not going back.